The only people who have been talking about Miss Marvel over the past several weeks have been the critics. They're the ones who loved it, to the point where they made Miss Marvel the highest rated MCU project ever on Rotten Tomatoes, above every single thing that's come before it, whether it was in a theater or on Disney+. However, it doesn't seem like a lot of audience members are actually tuning into that. Miss Marvel ratings a disaster, already drops out of the top 10. And this is from the Nielsen ratings. It was on number 10, its first episode. Its premiere episode barely cracked the top 10, but its second episode is nowhere to be found on Nielsen streaming ratings for the week of June 13th to the 19th. While the first episode was only viewed for 249 million minutes, it was enough to make the top 10 list. But the second episode isn't even listed, so we don't know how bad the numbers are. And you can see here, it doesn't make the list. Even with an additional episode for people to watch, it doesn't make the list in terms of minutes to watch for the Nielsen ratings for streaming. You know, and I said from the beginning, I watched the first episode of Miss Marvel, or first two episodes of Miss Marvel, and I didn't think, it just simply wasn't really made for me. I wasn't the target audience. And that was very clear that I wasn't the target audience. And I think a lot of people probably felt that way. But the Miss Marvel co-creator, not the person who had anything to do with the shows, actually the directors who did the first couple episodes of Miss Marvel, are actually pretty cool dudes, to be honest with you. The co-creator of Miss Marvel, the comic book, had something to say to people that don't watch it. Sana Amanat claims critics of Disney Plus series feel their identities are being threatened. Yeah, that's why nobody watched. It can't possibly be that the entire character themselves was basically targeted towards a very, very small niche audience. It couldn't be that at all. That can't be the reason why no one's watching the show. These are a bunch of the bad reviews here, but I want to get to Sana Amanat's comments. Yet when faced with similar criticisms of the series writing as cringe or woke, the latter of which admittedly coming less from the mainstream and more from an ever-growing amount of independent reviewers, Amanat has written them off as nothing more than ranting of angry fanboys. I think it comes from a place of anger and a sense that their identities are being threatened, the Marvel producer told NBC's Asian America. If they can't connect with it, then that's okay. I just wish they wouldn't try to put it down. I really think, more so than anything else, people are ignoring Miss Marvel. I've heard like almost no one talk about it other than the critics. And again, I think, like I said in my first video I made on, I think it has far more to do with that it's just not really broadly appealing to people. The style of it, the humor, what the story is about. I think a lot of people aren't really being able to connect to it. And, you know, you can have products like that, but you shouldn't be surprised when then people don't watch it. You shouldn't come out and say, I think it's just a bunch of white people whose identities feel threatened. That's why they're mad about it. From what I've seen, a lot of people really aren't that mad about the series. They're just kind of ignoring it. But it's not a surprise that the co-creator, that someone whose comic book failed over and over and over again at Marvel Comics is coming out with this type of rhetoric. It's what we've seen over and over again. And it's one of the reasons so many people are now supporting the Rippaverse, as everybody should.
Thanks for watching, everyone. And a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.